Hello everyone, this is Nathaniel. I'm almost I'm almost done with the book now. I'm taking a short break to make a video. I was reading the Lornography one last time to make sure that I don't know. I guess I decided I should read the Lornography one last time before I finish the book to make sure it's really the small little details that I might have missed, like the subtle nuance from the book and from Lorne Armstrong personality, I guess. And I noticed a passage that I really interpreted a different way. Like I read that passage many times before, and yeah, it did gross me out. But I read it today, and it had a different effect on me. So I'd like to read it to you first. Yes, when I don't feel good at all, you'll see that the only person I'm gonna even want around me at all is you. That's good, Lauren, because that's probably the only person that would be around you anyway. Like, Lauren doesn't exactly have friends or anyone, He's all alone in Maine, and I've made the hypothesis that Craig and Taylor and Paul and Amy don't exist. That to me seemed likely, but to focus on the extract here. I'm a baby when I don't feel good, precious. Are you gonna baby me when I don't feel good? Sure. Good, because I'm gonna baby you all the time. Rose, satisfied face, kiss, heart. Oh, how sweet. Will you even hold my penis for me when I have to pee and don't feel good? Laugh out loud. But if you remove it, like... it's pretty gross. And then I'm just gonna finish reading the passage so you understand it all. I guess if you want me to. Smile, kiss, kiss. Hell, I want you to hold my penis even when I do feel good. And I love there's the famous, there's another exchange that's pretty funny after that. K, she says K, that's her catchphrase. K, are you starting to feel better now? Yeah, good. Are you sure you're gonna like my hairy chest? But let's focus on that aspect. If you study the way that Kayla replies, very uninvolved, like, oh no, you look awful. What was wrong with you? That's mostly asking out of politeness, the way they say. She's not really concerned about him. She's faking. Like you can tell that she's not genuine in her genuine, or she's not authentic in her comments. The way she writes stuff, it's very like a robot. Like it's very blocks like word. She's really detached. She doesn't really look worried. And the slow reply, like she's not really like. She doesn't even feel empathetic for him being sick. You can really guess by the way she writes and type that she doesn't give a damn about whether he feels sick or not. Then he said that he was really drunk. He went downtown to the karaoke bar, blah, blah, blah. When my friend asked me to stay longer, I'd look at the time and said no way because I didn't want to even see or talk to anyone else except my baby. And you can see how little sense that makes, okay? If we follow Lauren's sentence here, he says, I was really, really drunk. And I went downtown. So he was drunk before going downtown. So he got drunk at home, probably because it's cheaper. That's the kind of stuff Lauren would do. You get drunk before you go to a bar. And there's nothing wrong there. You save a lot of money. But I don't think Lauren could afford to get drunk at the bar. And now he says, but when my friend asked me to stay longer, I looked at the time and said no because I didn't want to see or talk to anyone else except my baby. So why did you go to the bar then? Why didn't you stay home? If you said that you were drunk before you went to the bar, like why did you go to the bar in the first place? Like he says, I was really drunk and I didn't want to see or talk to anyone else except my baby. So why did you go to the karaoke bar then? Why didn't you stay home and talk with Kayla? And if we look at what actually happened the day before, Lauren is not the most... reliable witness, I guess we could say it that way. Here we go. I was mean, but I'm gonna throw up, blah blah blah. So he comes home from the karaoke bar. That's 1 hour ahead. He comes on at 10 p.m. So that's why he's not here there. you know, like she logs in, and for once it's Kayla being really insistent about it, I guess. Like, I can say, like, I can just see Sherry to it. She was like home. She's like, damn, where the fuck is that pedo? I'm not gonna wait him all night. Like, where is he? You know, she was probably getting worried. Like, why this is Moran? Like, this was at towards the end, you know, October 5th. So she was probably like, where the fuck is that guy? He's there every night usually. Now I'm getting worried. I hope he comes back. And I don't know why, but when I look at those smileys, thank you so much to Brother Josh for that smiley version. Big work there. You're so good, man. When I look at those smileys, it just screams teenage. I don't know why, but those are the kind of emoticon that scream teenage girl. I don't know why. They aren't like the adult emoticon, you know. They really like, I don't know, maybe because I grew up with them. I don't know. But to me, that's the kind of stuff you expect a teenage girl to use, like, or a young girl in general. But I don't know, it kind of fits Kayla well. But she wears quite a few, like, she gets mad. Oh, Kayla, you have some anger in you. Are you mad at me? I don't like me. And then she said, like, okay, then I guess you don't like me anymore. Heart, like, don't leave me. I want my baby. Can I call you sick? Blah, blah, blah. So when he talks on the next day, when they talk here, a bit later, like, oh yeah, you're sick, blah, 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 are you anxious? And that's the big line, like, you're anxious, are you anxious, are you anxious to touch? When he says that, like, you actually came back at 10 p.m. So it's quite an interesting scenario. You basically say, like, I got really drunk at what, 5 p.m.? Like, Kayla started talking with you at 4 p.m. So you got drunk in the afternoon, and then you went to the karaoke bar, and then you said, basically, I don't want to talk to anyone except my baby. But you actually left Kayla hanging for an entire night. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then it opens the line like, oh, you came back to talk to me? Again, very artificial. Like, oh, so you came back to talk to me? She doesn't say, for example, like, I'm so glad you thought about me, or so that. She doesn't use accented adjectives, you know. She uses very straight stuff, very... She doesn't say, for example, I'm so in love with you, for example. That kind of stuff. The so makes it authentic, at least looking. She says the bare minimum to look honest, but you can tell that she's not really involved emotionally. And then he says the only person is you. And then he talks about, I'm a baby when I don't feel good about you. Feel good, precious, blah, blah, blah. But my point basically here is Lauren is trying to be romantic, you know. He's like, the only person I want around me is you. I don't feel good. I want you to baby me. I'm a baby. I'm gonna baby you all the time. And she goes, oh, how sweet. And then out of nowhere, he goes to that line. And that line, to me, that's another example of Lauren being a genius. Like, will you even hold my penis for me when I have to pee and don't feel good? It came out of nowhere. Like, you were talking about you being sick, about you missing Kayla, about you, like, when you're a baby. And now you go into that. And that line, when I read it today, kind of struck me as a little different, you know. Like, why is he thinking about that? Why is he thinking about having to pee? Like, and even if you're sick, she has to hold your penis while you pee. It's kind of a lesser example of, you know, people with a fetish for, you know, about pee. You know, like the guy was reading Jeremy Martin Causes, and he wanted to tickle the decoy until she peed herself. That's pretty gross, I guess, but to each his own. We all have our fetishes, okay? But it comes out of, why was he even thinking about that? You know, that's three things. You know, he's thinking about her touching him. Like, you know, she's gonna be a little kid touching a grown adult's penis. That's sexual abuse, you know, by the way. If you didn't know, when you force a kid, just holding, you say, no, she was just gonna hold it. And then, of course, you force her to watch, you know, to watch your, when you pee. And that is, I don't know. It's quite intimate, you know, It's not something that most couple, I mean, I was in a long-term relationship and I still closed my door when I went to bathroom, you know. When I went to pee, I still closed the door. It's kind of personal. It's kind of private. I don't know. But the way he's gonna force her to not only watch but participate, I guess it kind of scared me a little bit. It's really weird. When it's a weird fantasy. With an adult woman, it would be weird, but with a little girl, it's just bizarre. It's just very like bizarre. That's the right word, you know. And then the third element, you know, will you hold my penis for me? So I guess Lorne has to hold his penis when he pees, because he has a long penis, and then otherwise it's hard to aim, or at least that's what he thinks. And then he says, when I have to pee and don't feel good. And that's pretty weird. Like, you don't feel good, and now someone else has to hold your penis so you can pee. Why? Like, you don't feel good and suddenly you cannot use your hands anymore, or you cannot sit. Let's say, for example, let's say you really couldn't use, you really need your hands to pee for whatever reason, and you can't use them to pee because, I don't know, whatever reason. Why don't you just sit down and pee that way? You know, if you really need to use your hand to pee, but you don't feel good and you can't do it, just sit down to pee, you know, and you're gonna solve the problem. And I was thinking, like, even if you don't feel good, why can't you hold your penis to pee anyway? You know, okay, you have a flu, but you can, you know, if you're afraid you're gonna pee everywhere, you can just sit down. But let's say you do it standing. What prevents you from holding your own penis to pee? You know. And I spent far too much time thinking about that. I'm like, what the heck? And then I realized, when I was thinking about that today, what Lorne probably wants, he wants her to hold his penis, and he wants to pee, and he wants her to aim for him, you know? He wants Kayla to be like, I'm gonna hold your penis, Lorne, and I'm gonna aim to make sure that, you know, it doesn't get everything, it doesn't get all around the ball. So Lorne, it's a form of very psychopathic, it's almost psychopathic, attack. It's a sexual fantasy that is so advanced and so intricate. It's so perverted in so many ways. I'm having problem expressing myself. But imagine the scene, okay? You have Lorne Armstrong. He's like, Kayla, I need to go pee, but I don't feel good, so you need to hold my penis for me. And now they go to the bathroom, and she has to aim to make sure that the pee makes it, like, you know, doesn't splash around everywhere. It's gross. It's gross for a little kid to do that. There's so much stuff in it, you know. It's a private bodily function, of course. It really had me thinking for a while. Like, that guy is fucked up, you know. And of course, after that, he was probably gonna ask her to shake it to make sure that there's nothing left, I guess. But seriously, imagine the scene. And you know, Lorne would have done it if Kayla was real. It's not like he's saying that out of nowhere. That's another of the sick thought that crossed his mind. Like, imagine Lorne, he's thinking about Kayla, and he's thinking about all the vile stuff he's gonna do with her. And now he's thinking about that. Like, oh yeah, when I get sick, she's going to be aiming in the toilet bowl for me. And for some reason, I know it's not that much. It's not like when he talks about tasting or swallowing, it's not as gross. But there's a level of pervasion here, you know, that is hard to reach. I don't know if it's because it's privacy or because he's forcing her, and it's kind of gross. Like, I don't think many women are excited by observing their partner peeing. I'm not excited by that, but maybe some are, and that's fine. But really, the fact that she's gonna be involved, that grosses me out. Like, it's a weird sexual fantasy. I'll say that, and. Again, he doesn't really. He asks her, like, will you even hold my penis for me when I have to pee? Phoebe, like, are you gonna baby me when I don't feel good? And then he says, are you gonna hold that? But what does this have to do with being a baby? I guess he's trying to push the limits. That's what Dell says. You know, they try their luck and they try. And if you don't shut them down with no, they keep pushing for their fantasies. But all in all, it's you know, the fact here he's really being sweet and he's really being kind and considerate, you know, and all of a sudden he asks that question and he goes back into perversion. Then he says, I want you to hold my penis even when I do feel good. Meaning when he pees, you know. I don't think he's intelligent enough to make that kind of, I want you to hold my penis even when I feel good and want to pee. But that really shows that the kind of thought that cross Lauren's mind, you just cannot imagine them. Like to me, when I had a girlfriend, not once did I think I'm gonna go pee and she's gonna hold my dick while I pee. It's just not something that I think about normally. But Lauren, he thinks about that out of nowhere. Thanks for listening. That's all I wanted to say. And I read that line today. I kind of have to add it to the book. I'm gonna sleep a couple hours and then I'm gonna continue. I'm not done yet. Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm gonna continue. I hope you appreciate my small analysis. And have a good night. Thanks for watching.